often we look at our garden and think that it's not tidy enough and we need to clean it up a little bit more. But you know, nature isn't always clean and tidy either, and there's a benefit to that. We get a lot of insects in our garden. Now, if you want to keep your garden neat and tidy, you might think about using some of those untidy items in a different way. We've got another way to recycle some of those old garden scraps, and what we're going to build today is an insect hotel. Here we've created the structure for ours already, and this is a quite large one. We've made it out of several layers of pallets and cinder blocks and different bricks and things, and you don't need to necessarily make one this big. But what we've created is a lot of holes and nooks where we're going to fill it with that plant debris and entice different insects to come in here. Now, we've placed ours in kind of a partly shady area, and that's because some insects like shade. Frogs and toads like to be in a shade, damp area, where some of your insects like bees like to be up in the sunny location. So you can see we've got a lot of sun up here on the top of it. If you don't want to build one this large, because you know it can be quite a construction feat, we have stabilized ours with some T-posts in the center here. But you can also recycle old bird houses. So here we have an old bird house that you can see also has different nooks and crannies in it, so that you can fill those with organic matter. And basically any container that has different spaces that you can fill would make a great ideal insect hotel. It doesn't have to be a particular size at all. You can see this is much smaller, whereas the one we built here is much larger. The one thing you want to keep in mind is that you're trying to invite insects into your backyard, and so you don't want this right by your back door. Here we've placed it a little bit further away from the main garden, and the next thing to do is we just need to fill all these crevices with our organic matter to make it more inviting for those insects. We've filled our holes with a variety of textures and materials, and again, you're trying to create a habitat for a lot of different insects, and different insects need different things. There's some insects that like to be solitary. In fact, there's some bees that like to be solitary, and so we've drilled some holes here in these old stumps because they'll come in behind here and lay their eggs in here and then actually cover them over with mud. So this is a great thing for solitary bees. We've purposely place these on the sunny side of the insect hotel because bees are one insect that like to be in the sunshine. Now, down below here, we've got some other materials that we've used. We have, in fact, here an old clay pot that we've placed in here for frogs and toads. They like to be in a more moist area, and so we've put them down on the soil level, and they can go in there and get away from any of the other critters. There's other things such as corrugated cardboard that we've used, which is a nice thing for lace wings, to create a habitat for those, and those are another beneficial insect. We had a lot of fun building this here at the gardens, and I would encourage you also to build one. It's fun to be creative. You can use different materials, and again, it can be almost any size. You can use 2-liter bottles, tin cans, yarn, a lot of different things. You can see here we've cleaned out our garden and we've used a lot of different organic matters, but I would encourage you to go see what you can find in your backyard and invite those insects in. We would love to hear about your insect hotel, so please share with us any stories or photos that you have.
We hope you enjoyed this video. It's part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on our OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.